I thought we'd finish with Joseph, but maybe just one more thing. I'm always fascinated by this, that Joseph was in prison, prolonged season, and then two other guys are thrown into prison with him. And his experience has been really tough, to put it mildly. God had made him this promise. Of course, nothing had happened. He got further and further away from home, and he lost his contact with his brothers. The vision of his brothers bowing to him and purpose and all that seems totally lost. He's a prisoner. And then these guys come in and say, we've had dreams. And I always think it's amazing. I think Joseph, I would think, should say, hey, forget dreams. I had a dream, that's why I'm in prison. But no, tell me your dream. I think it's such a victory. Tell me your dream. I think, wow, he still believes. He hasn't abandoned his dream. I want to encourage you not to abandon your dreams, especially things that God has said to you. It reminds me too of Abraham. He was given a promise, and the years slipped by. And nothing's happening. And then I love what it says in Romans chapter 4, that Abraham grew strong in faith. Now, I'd have thought with the delay, you grow weak in faith, that as time slips by, faith would dwindle. But it doesn't say that. It says Abraham grew strong in faith, fully persuaded that what God had promised, he's also able to perform. It says, giving praise to God. He kept in fellowship with God. Faith is fundamentally a relational thing. It's not optimism. It's not, well, you always look on the bright side. It is believing God. It's trusting God and keeping that relationship with God bright. So Abram giving praise and glory to God, fully persuaded what God had promised. If God promised it, he's able to do it. Circumstances are quite secondary. If God has said it, God's committed to it. I know when I first left secular work, I was living by faith. No one had guaranteed me any income, and I was doing some door-to-door visitation on a council estate, and money was growing very low, and I needed God to remind me of his faithfulness, and faith was challenged. And I read my Bible systematically, and I thought, I need a word from God today. And I came to Titus in my reading. I thought, oh wow, Titus, all about deacon appointment. What a deadly thing to come to. But I began to read, and the opening verses in Titus talk about the God who cannot lie. I mean, for me, it just sent my faith soaring again. The God who cannot lie. Faith is to do with this wonderful God, how he is utterly trustworthy. It's not about optimism, it's about trusting him. Keep close to him, keep believing him. Don't abandon things that God has said to you. I love the story of Caleb. He kept believing. He said, 40 years on, I'm as strong now as I was. I'm still believing God. Let me encourage you, don't abandon the things God's promised you. God bless you today.